Louis dispossessed. That's holding the ball. Hildebrandt very cleverly chips the ball into the pocket, chips it to Hildebrandt. And then goes short to Hildebrandt, backs up nicely, checker.
I'm Shaun Hildebrandt, 28 years old, playing for my third club, Swan Districts.
Tackled below the knee. That's a new one we've had today.
You heard right. Shaun Hildebrandt has played for 3 clubs, though he's more commonly known as a Subiaco premiership player and hero.
Number 16, Shaun Hildebrandt.
30th game today for Subiaco, having played 60 initially with Peel, and he too has slotted in beautifully.
He has, and it's a change that I'm sure he'll be absolutely rapt that he made.
But before his Subiaco days, Hildebrandt lined up for newly formed club Peel Thunder.
Bird finds Hildebrandt.
I played juniors at obviously Warnborough, and they were in the zone for Peel Thunder, so I was playing 14s and 16s there. And yeah, I got invited down to play Colts football from Trevor Williams, and played a year in the Colts in 2001, and then went away and played Teal Cup 2002, and when I come back from Teal Cup, that's when my league career started at Peel Thunder.
Great kick, went through goalpost high. Well done, Shaun Hildebrandt.
It's nice that they have established a club down there, because there's a lot of kids and they've got a good zone, and they produce good kids. So unfortunate for them that a lot of them get drafted, and they don't get to keep their players in that zone. So for me, yeah, it was very fortunate.
Hildebrandt played 60 games with Peel, but the high number of losses was too much for this future star to bear.
I think as a young kid, I'd played 60 games at Peel and only won 11 games. And when you're not winning games, you can start to lose a bit of enjoyment. And yeah, that was basically my decision to go to Subi. I wanted to start winning games, and felt that was a club where I had more chance of playing in the premiership or playing finals. So that was the main reason for going to Subiaco.
It was anything but easy for the young wingman. He had to train hard to earn his spot and travel a round trip of 100 kilometres to training twice a week.
Yeah, and I think at the same time it's probably a bit of a risk for me, only being, I was 21 at the time, I think, and I was never guaranteed a game at Subiaco. So I had to work really hard and earn my spot. You don't just get given a spot at Subiaco, and I think that was a risk that I had to take, and I worked hard and I earned my spot, and at the same time it was probably a bit of a risk, but I worked hard and I had maybe a little bit of faith in myself that I could play at Subiaco.
Hildebrandt keeps the ball alive.
And it was that hard work and dedication that earned Hildebrandt 2 premierships.
Fists it into the path of Hildebrandt, out towards Smith.
That's the reason I went to Subiaco, and to play in the premiership, that's the most enjoyment I've had in football, 2007, 2008, and just a celebration for the week after, and it's what you play football for. So grand final is what you play for.
Well, and he's really enjoyed the cross from Peel across to Subiaco.
He even won a best and fairest at the club in 2009, but don't expect Hildebrandt to compare the two.
I don't think you can compare any individual award to a premiership. At the end of the day, everyone plays to win premierships, and although the individual accolades are good, they don't compare to a premiership, and so you can't compare them, because you play football at the end of the day to win for the team, and it's a team sport, so they don't compare, but they are nice to win.
10 years after making his WAFL debut for Peel Thunder, Hildebrandt moved to Swan Districts. He's now in his 2nd season with the Mighty Ducks.
And Shaun Hildebrandt's made a big impact since coming to Swan Districts over the course of the off-season.
Swans have a great culture, and it's probably the best culture in the WAFL, I think. We draw big crowds, they've always been strong, and not a lot's changed here in the last 30 or 40 years, so the longer they keep it like this, the more the older boys are happy, and the crowd's fantastic, and yeah, so I don't think they need to change too much here, because they've got a great tradition and a great culture, and it's a good winning culture too.
I think the greatest thing that he brings to our player group is running capacity, but just pure professionalism. The way he prepares himself from week to week is just fantastic. And we lost Ashley Hansen last year, obviously, when he went back to the Western Bulldogs, and that's been the one thing that he has brought in spades to our player group and to our young players, the ability to just train really hard and prepare himself like an AFL player and get the best out of himself week in, week out.
And Hildebrandt lace out onto the chest of Ash Hansen. He's looking for options now.
Hildebrandt's leadership was the main draw card for coach Greg Harding.
He's been prolific, Shaun Hildebrandt.
Yeah, we've got so many young kids from Midvale and Caversham and these sorts of areas that are coming into our club, and they need a role model that they can look at and look up to, and he's certainly a player that does that. He may not be someone that's really vocal and loud out on the field, but the way he leads through example is just as good as I've ever seen. And for our young kids coming into a system and wanting to learn about work rate, they just look at Shaun, and that's what they have to do.
I think I'm a better leader on the field than what I am off the field. I'm generally pretty quiet around a footy club. I don't really speak too much, but I think I lead more by example and just work rate at training in pre-seasons, and I will talk to some of the young blokes at times and give them a bit of advice, and whether they take it or not, that's their decision. But I think I'm more of a leader just through work rate and work ethic and trying to get the best out of yourself, more so than being a leader and telling people what to do and talking so much behind closed doors.
He's been doing what he's been doing for so long and at such a high level. It was just a matter of parking him out on that wing and letting him do his thing week in, week out. And he's done that, and he's obviously won a premiership, won a Ferriston Best already at the club, and he's on his way to winning another one, and he's been a superb player, and hopefully he can be a superb player for us for many years to come.
But those years could be limited.
Twice a premiership player with Subiaco, now at his third club and his 200th WAFL game today.
The amount of Ks you do in a game, it can take its toll, and it's more, I think it's more just the recovery during the week. When you're 22 or 23, you can recover by Monday night. Now it's Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm still sore. So, it does take a toll, but that's the way it is when you get older, I suppose.
He has to hand it over the top to a former Subi champion in Hildebrandt.
I think this will be where I finish, and there won't be a fourth club. Whether I finish this year or next year, the year after, I don't know. It depends on how I feel, and how my body is. So, I will finish here, but it's just a matter of when.
And despite Hildebrandt's 2 premierships, he's still craving a third.
Yeah, I've won a premiership. I've won 2, and the more will be better. But don't want to be too greedy, but to win 1 or 2 more would be fantastic. I think we're a massive chance this year. You might say I'm silly saying that, being 3-3, and Claremont obviously being 7-0. But we think with our side and our coaching staff that we're definitely capable, and we've shown in games this year how good we can be. But at this stage of the year, we've shown in games how poor we can be through patches. So I think with us, if we apply ourselves and have the right attitude and stick to what the coaching staff want, I think we're definitely capable of beating any side on any given day.
And this is what Hildebrandt's retirement plans will come down to.
Win, probably more so. Lose, don't know, it depends how the body is. I think, I don't know, if you're that close you might think next year you can do it. So, like I said, it depends on how I feel and how my body is.